Like any job, acting can be tough if you fail to prepare correctly. But unlike a lot of jobs, what an actor is expected to do on any given day can vary dramatically depending on the project they're working on. As a result, there are countless stories of actors being hilariously underprepared for roles due to time constraints, overconfidence, and sometimes just plain old bad luck. Benedict Cumberbatch and the Penguin Doc. Benedict Cumberbatch has played everything from an American neurosurgeon wizard to Sherlock Holmes. And with such an impressive resume, you'd think voiceover would be a cinch for the actor. But Cumberbatch has a very peculiar acting Achilles heel. He can't say penguin.
So why are these woodlands so attractive to penguins?
Cumberbatch apparently wasn't aware of this and in 2009 took a voiceover gig for the BBC documentary South Pacific, in which he struggled to pronounce the word almost every single time.
These are royal penguins, and they're about to have their first sighting of land in 7 months.
On The Graham Norton Show, Cumberbatch admitted his amazement that nobody working on the doc corrected him.
It's not just me sitting there at a booth going, I think I know how to say penguin, I'll say penguins. It's mortifying.
Peter Weller and the RoboCop suit. The titular RoboCop was played by Peter Weller, who was hired to portray the character due to his slight build and his strong jawline.
This guy's really good.
He's not a guy, he's a machine.
Weller had planned to spend several weeks getting used to walking around in the RoboCop suit to make his movements seem natural. However, due to the suit's last-minute tweaks, it wasn't ready ahead of time. Weller was instead forced to begin shooting the same day it arrived on set.
The suit was ready when it was ready. The second that we'd cut, immediately, like a team of Ferrari mechanics, these guys would go to work on me.
This was so frustrating for Weller that production had to be stopped for 3 days so he could work with the suit. The rigid robotic movements audiences would soon associate with RoboCop were really a byproduct of Weller learning to move without fighting against the suit. Hugh Jackman's doughy Wolverine. To a lot of people, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Sounds Xavier.
Go f*** yourself.
The actor has put an astonishing amount of effort into physically portraying the character, something which is especially notable in later movies in the X-Men series, where Jackman appears way more ripped than he was in the first film in the franchise. Jackman has since said he was embarrassed by his physique in the first X-Men movie, telling Stephen Colbert,
I thought you could get into shape in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I turned up, and the director had pushed all the shirt-off scenes to the very end 4 months later,
Director Bryan Singer may have pushed those shirtless scenes as long as he could, but Jackman says he's still embarrassed about them. Kit Harington is buff, not a history buff. During the press tour for Pompeii, a film about what happened to Kit Harington's abs during a volcanic eruption, Harington admitted he hadn't done any research into the actual destruction of the Roman city Pompeii in the year 79 AD. Instead, he told the BBC he just figured Hollywood always gets these things right. I'm ashamed to say I didn't do a whole amount of historical research. I took the script as gospel, but I went after we wrapped. I was pleasantly surprised to see that we were very historically accurate. I mean, we're a big-budget action movie and we're bound to take historical liberties, but not many. We were very painstaking in recreating Pompeii in Toronto. Ewan McGregor and the lightsaber noises. Like millions of people, Ewan McGregor is a big fan of the Star Wars franchise, and when he was cast as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels, he had trouble setting aside his childlike glee around his lightsaber.
To begin with, it was quite difficult not to make the sound.
Yeah.
And also when it goes away, because it makes that nice shh noise when it goes down.
The actor would later admit that he messed up quite a few takes because he couldn't help making lightsaber noises whenever he swung his prop around. According to a persistent rumor, a sound guy finally had to tell McGregor that they add sound effects in post when they noticed his humming noises were being picked up by the boom mic. Marlon Brando's clueless tubby warrior. Marlon Brando's not giving a crap during production was the stuff of legend. Notoriously indifferent when it came to reading scripts and learning lines, Brando often turned up on set completely unprepared.
I think you've summed it up admirably.
Take Apocalypse Now, where Brando was so clueless about his role that production had to shut down for an entire week so director Francis Ford Coppola could read the script to him and explain his character. Producer Fred Roos remembered.
The whole company was sitting up on the set, around the camera, the crew all poised to go and shoot, and Francis and Marlon would be talking about the character.
On top of this, the ending to the film had to be entirely rewritten because Brando, who was playing a lean and hungry warrior, weighed roughly 300 pounds. To get around this, Coppola shot Brando almost exclusively in shadow and made him wear all black, partly because there wasn't a green beret uniform to fit him. Finn Jones' last-minute choreography. Fans and critics alike took issue with the subpar fight choreography of Marvel's Iron Fist and its reliance on excessive cuts to hide actor Finn Jones' apparent lack of martial arts skill. A fairly major problem, considering Iron Fist is supposed to be a master of all forms of unarmed combat.
When she sees how good of a fighter he is, she starts to realize there's something else about him.
Jones later explained that he literally had minutes to learn the choreography for his fight scenes, revealing to The Telegraph, "I was learning those fight scenes just 15 minutes before we shot them. That, and he only had 3 weeks to train before filming started."
But I'm Danny Rand, and I'm the Iron Fist.
James McAvoy and the haircut. When he learned he'd be playing Professor X in X-Men First Class, James McAvoy naturally assumed that since he was playing the bald-headed superhero previously played by Patrick Stewart, the studio would want him to be similarly shorn.
This is very important to me, and if I can help you, I will do my utmost.
He shaved off all his hair before filming started, but apparently the studio wanted McAvoy to have hair for the role since it was set in the 60s, forcing the actor to ask a hairstylist friend to add on hair extensions. A wig was apparently also used for some scenes, though it's not clear which ones, which probably means it was a pretty good wig. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.